All right, let's break down being lost in the light and being lost in conscious forms of awarenesses that we be privy to, either based on previous past experiences or based on, indoctrinations and shit like that. Because a lot of the times before we engage in something, we recall previous memories, previous points that we were at to compare where we are now and create these as some type of limitations of expansion. It's really something just based on fear, because the brain really does not, or the mind, let's say, does not really like to expand into new circumstances or situations and shit like that. So it creates subconscious measures to prevent us from going to these places, while really, if you go into these spaces, that really become the person that, a person who's admirable, a person that's more aware, a person that has access to more possibilities and shit like that. But just based on the limited consciousness program that a lot of people would be subconsciously into, not knowing how fucked up that might make you as an individual, because it really just catered to your biases and stuff like that. It keeps you in your limitation. It keeps you in your denomination. It keeps you in your sector, right? Because we're really supposed to understand the nature of the cycles and shit like that, just really as a representation to understand that things transition. It's really just energy taking on different shapes and forms and shit like that. And it's like we're just being privy to these things, and it's like it's constantly energy exchanges going on, like, just everywhere. It's just the nature of these things. So humans are social animals. We come together, form communities, and we use our abilities and stuff like that. And some people become slaves in that process. Some people become the rulers in that process. But it's predicated upon either sitting back, practicing witchcraft on somebody, making someone feel like they're less and they need to argue for or against something, while God is one whole being. So religious people kind of sit back and make like God like a being that sit back and need to argue with other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they need to take their truth to other people, while the truth should be something that we're privy to 24/7, 365. Because why the fuck would God need to give his message to a man? Now look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with God giving his message to a man, but it's not even God giving his message to a man. You need to understand that you're talking to yourself. And when you talk to yourself by throwing these signs and sigils that people put energy into, like, oh, I gotta believe in Jesus. Oh, I better not think this way. Oh shit, I gotta go to the mosque today and pray 5 times a day. Oh shit, Yahweh is watching me. Blah blah. You put yourself in these energies, in these fears, and really in these mental spheres of fear and stuff like that. And you really see people living outside of these things, and you see these people being the legends of history, the people whose names get remembered and shit like that, right? Because these people actually went beyond the programming of the Matrix and expanded to some way. And everything that is in this Matrix is a part of its program, whether it be capitalism, or it be goddamn religion, we got them political parties, we got them entertainment. All these things, you better believe, are used for some demonic purposes to put people in some type of space, right? So a lot of these things, a lot of times when you scroll on TikTok, when you're on Instagram, a lot of these information that you're inputting, we're not freeing up our mind enough to be free enough to be aware and privy to different lights, forms of frequencies and vibrations around us. So we're just in this bubble, in this sphere of imagination that we call reality, that we think is normal. But if you can just sit back and actually detach and practice clairvoyance and really remove and really detach from these conscious forms, stop thinking about Jesus, let go of the Bible, let go of these scriptures and stuff like that, let go of even the words that you say on your mind, slowly and surely, when you practice that, you start to separate from these things, and you be privy to even more further out frequencies, more further out vibrations, because we're all talking to spirits, we're all resonating with spirits. When the spirit resonates with you, it's just a state of being. So based on the vibrational state of being or the emotional state of being that a person is in, that's going to be the spirits that they are resonating with, and that's going to be the vehicles, the shapes and forms of thoughts and feelings, desires or passions, or ways of valuing and appreciating the world, just how you express yourself as a person, that those beings and spirits can come into you. And just based on choosing to be stuck in those denominations, really, you're going to amplify that and justify that. Because that's just what these Jews are sitting back and thinking. They're like, you know what? Let's create denominations, and if people choose to jump into these things and argue and bicker, because I already seen this. You can talk about political parties in front of people, and what's it called? Motherfucking not be a part of it, but set it up. See what people would do. Two people would jump into a fight, headbutt each other, and you're just sitting back like, I'm just a bounce, I'm just in equilibrium. And they just sit back and fight each other because they're both already in a bias. So it's like, a lot of these people stuck in the denominations, y'all be clashing with people's minds, thinking that you're looking for something outside of you, or trying to go outside of you for something, but really what you're looking for is already inside of you. And all you gotta do is just detach from these light forms of awareness that you sum up on your mind. Stop summoning Jesus on your mind. He's fucking tired of your bullshit. Like some spirit started that shit. Leave that nigga alone, bro. Stop calling him back. We need Jesus to resurrect. We can't save ourselves. We need someone else outside of us to save us. No, you save yourself. So what? You don't have no abilities? You don't have no charismatic gifts? I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, use the mind. You know what I'm saying? Because this was me too, right? This is what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from, where I got out of the goddamn religious hellhole, because it is a hellhole. That shit is hell. Religion is not no form of heaven. That's just you being, you think these priests that sat back, that have access to money, that are sitting back practicing witchcraft on you, sat back and built back these cathedrals? They sat back and told you, build this shit for Jesus. Or they had some form of banking. But you need to understand that it's not about that. It's a form of governing. Religion is the early form of governing. That's why it's so important and relevant today, because that shows you how well that system works. Because it's a reliant system. Once I can get your mind to rely on something and use my form of logic, use my theology, use my way of viewing the world as a mental crutch, and you're not using your own senses, you're not even engaged in that, bruh. You don't use it, you fucking lose it. So if you don't got access to any spiritual senses, because you might have already have, but you might be conflated and lost in these forms of awarenesses that you're giving your power to, aka your faith, belief, and imagination. So it's like you have faith in Jesus, or you have faith in Allah, something outside of you, but you don't have faith in your own ability. You're looking for something to give you faith and love, but you should love yourself. A lot of Christians think, a lot of Muslims, a lot of people think they love themselves. No, you don't. You think that you have to go through some type of discipline, some type of practice, some type of mental hula, some crazy shit to even get anywhere in life, while you see people that got, $1 million check from their dad, and they doing way better than you. Jesus ain't striking it down. Some dumbass motherfucker just told me in the comments, because in his theology, in his doctrine, it says that, you're from the tribe of Ham, and that means that you guys are cursed, and that we're going to use that as a religious justification to tell you that you ain't shit. Because that person is stuck in a denomination. That person is a demon. They arguing from their ego. They can't even unite the world. They have to divide the world. So God come to divide and conquer people, not actually unite people. Otherwise, God created the devil. God created people. So what? God created evil and put evil things in the universe? Your God don't even make no sense. Your God sound like it's against itself. So it's like you're against yourself too. But you need to understand that within a greater context. You being in religion, it naturally makes you against yourself. If you want to be for yourself, you gotta be spiritual. Two different things. Because when you detach from these awarenesses that you're so attached to, these names, these letters, you're privy to further out lights, further out consciousnesses, further out awarenesses. There's literally hierarchies of angels that these goddamn motherfuckers that sat back and organized in the Enochian system of magic, which really ain't shit. It's just a division, a mathematics, and astronomy, left brain wise, form of astrology, sitting back, giving it meanings and reasonings, names and stuff like that, to sit back and observe virtues and principles that are playing out on the micro, macro, as above, so below. So when you understand those sciences, you can sit back, make a mythology, make something about it, so you can pass it on, and have certain people, the priesthood, remember what these things are pointing to, and then people are sitting back and think this is like some type of God coming back or some shit like that. Like even in Egypt, when the Nile was coming up and down and shit like that, some people really sat back and thought there was a God doing that. But no, people were just tracking the priests. They understood it as a left brain and right brain wise, meaning they understood the virtue and the operative side of it, and the goddamn subjective meaning and reasoning spirituality beside of it. Because the spirituality part of it is very real. But the common average citizen would have been lost in type of spirituality, hippy dippy shit, or lost in the left brain. See, they don't care. So all they do is gonna sit back and create some type of shit, some type of variable, some type of numinal for you to jump into and practice your demonic virtue. Because that's all people know how to be, is just be fucking demons and shit like that. Hate on somebody else, not do anything with themselves, troll other people, waste other people's time. Like, it's certain things that people do because they lack experiences, because they be inside of religious programs and shit like that, that really make them look like retards low-key, but the world they are part of is retarded itself. So it's like they think that's normal. Like, and that's the thing, when everyone around you is retarded and we all think that's normal, shit, we all gonna be retarded, we all gonna think that shit's normal. That's why Earth is a fucked up place. God motherfucking damn it. But yeah, man, when you just let go of these things, like, you really are privy to things beyond this realm. Like, think about when someone is presenting you an idea. let's say I present you an idea. Let's say what I'm talking about right now. It's just, your girlfriend tells you, I love you, or whatever like that, right? If you don't understand the true feeling behind that, because someone could truly sit back and try to love, value, and appreciate you only to, manipulate for something. It could be like even your employer at work. Hey, Bobby, have a good day, man. I love you, brother. Enjoy your day. But at the same time, you do work together, so it does become people that are close to you. But at the same time, you gotta understand that it's just people trying to get something because it's work. It's naturally just a hierarchy, and it's just management. Like, it's just fucked up. It's retarded. You trying to sit back and manage other people. You gotta have a particular disposition for that because you gotta be able to handle that type of stress. And it's not even stress. For some people, that's just normal. But it just depends on your disposition and shit like that. But yeah, if I present someone an idea, because this is what I'm saying right now is truly based upon the idea of the sun and the moon, right? Because I can sit here, give you this grandiose vision. God wants to love you. Yes, this doctrine, if you accept it, you're gonna go to heaven. But they can't show you no proof of the heaven. But once you enter their religion, it's like you gotta sit back, practice all these words. God doesn't even know. God doesn't give a fuck what you're saying. God just care about what spirit, what vibrational space you're resonating with, because that's going to be the spirits that's going to see you in the subconscious spiritual realm, and they're going to jump in and out of you as a form that resonates with them so they can live out that form of existence down here. So it's like the people that stay in the fear sphere, they don't go beyond what they're, they don't go beyond the available bandwidth of information that's actually available in totality. They stay stuck in a specific bandwidth of information. Because even Wi-Fi exists in bandwidths of information and stuff like that. So just like how you can't see Wi-Fi waves and shit like that, it's the same shit in the spiritual realm. Thoughts and feelings are just like thought forms. These are waveforms and shit like that. And it really exists in real time. These are real things going on. But if you're stuck looking at it through the religious realm, you're never going to see that shit. You're never going to experience that shit. Not from a clear perspective. You might be confused as fuck. With that religious shit and shit like that. But just like how there's a specific bandwidth available based on the consciousness of this earth, which is really a realm of purgatory. If you resonate with these thoughts, holistic thoughts and feelings, you gotta sit back, pray to a God outside of you. No, you better become the God. Don't fucking ever get it twisted or play with that. You better motherfucking do this shit for yourself. You better outgrow yourself. You better motherfucking go hard, further than any motherfucker, at least from like a godly perspective and shit, because they're gonna sit back and demonize you, demonize that, but they're gonna be in the very same positions that they're telling you not to be in. How's that even make sense? The fuck? That's very retarded and shit. But if we just sit back and actually separate from these things, we'd be actually privy to a bandwidth beyond this shit. Because it's like, if your mind is already filled, if we already have a cup that's filled, that just means that we can't go get another cup. Like last time I checked, until you drink the water you have or fucking pour it, you can get another cup. But a lot of the cups that people keep getting be from their frequency vibration realm that they programmed you into and shit. Because this shit don't just be based upon religion and just entertainment. It be based upon politics, and it be based upon, it's just basically a form of governing. Because when I can govern your mind, when I can give you a point to pay attention to, then you're opening my gate. You're opening the gate for my reality for what I want to exist. So as long as you don't truly understand what you're agreeing to as far as terms and conditions, because you don't really know what you're pinpointing to and shit in your mind, like you can't really see these thought forms for what they are. You can't really see when a religious person is trying to sit back and intimidate you in some type of like submissive position and shit like that. Just like how I said earlier, someone was trying to tell me like, oh, you're from the tribe of Ham, you're cursed, blah blah blah, and you're supposed to be less for some bullshit, whatever the fuck they was saying. Because they was, like I said, they was coming out from a goddamn demonic perspective and shit like that. They don't understand that cursed really is talking about just a lot of blackness, just a lot of subconsciousness energy and shit like that. So it's like, it can become too much, because it really is like you soaking in some shit. But a lot of that shit that you're soaking in can be perceived as demonic, because it's like you're pushing out like I don't want to say like a heavy wave, because it's not even about that. I don't even want to get lost into that. But it's just like, when you're born black, it means your spirit a lot of the times may have a lot of desires, you know what I'm saying? Have a lot of accumulations and shit like that. So the more darkness you have and shit like that, it's like the more you can absorb more light. Sometimes absorbing more light is not a bad, it could be a bad thing and shit like that, because you become too heavy as a vessel, too many accumulations, so you become like heavy as an object almost, like in the esoteric realm, but you anchor things almost too. But yeah, that's what it means in the truest context. But see, the Jews are smart. They know how to sit back, create semantics to get people lost in those denominations. To be like, yeah, here's the justifications. And if you don't understand the esoteric terminology behind these words, yeah, you're going to get lost in the witchcraft. And yeah, you're a demon, you just don't know it. And yeah, we're going to guilt trip your ass and balance you later. Because that's just how they move. They don't give a fuck about you and your mind. This world is a fucking mulling machine. You better believe your mind's going to get munched if you're not a titan to goddamn grab that goddamn muncher and get out of it yourself. Because that goddamn cutter going to be coming in, aka they mental blades. They goddamn logic, some forms of information, forms of indoctrinations to indoctrinate people further. Because that's their intellectual properties. That's not some shit that belongs to your family. That's not some shit you own the printing press to. You know what I'm saying? That's they shit. They understand why they're using it beyond your people's current religious perspectives of these things. Like, these things are beyond what people think like they be doing with these things. You gotta understand the symbolisms, the languages, the esoteric shit behind this shit before you even sit back and practice some exoteric shit. Because I can sit back and regurgitate a Bible verse, and a Bible thumper might sit back and be like, now I'm saying, oh, you're using the Bible, but the Bible says this, or you're using the Bible, you must have gotten all this from the Bible. No, I understand where the Bible was getting this shit from. Like, this shit was already here before the fucking Bible. That's what you people gotta fucking understand. That's what these things are. These things were already here. Before the Bible said, God damn it, the sun, God came back and God gave the earth, God damn it, spring and gave life. They really talk about the sun. I'm pretty sure that in the Bible it either says the sun or God. But when they're talking about something, giving something life back, they're talking about the sun purely being in the seasonal transition of, God damn it, spring. And based on that closeness, it generates heat, and it gives the planet warmth, and that allows life on the planet, etc., and shit like that. To the point that Earth gets warmer. In winter, and just the sun just gets further, and it is close, and shit like that. So it's like distance and closeness. Melting points, freezing points, and hot points, and shit like that. You know? Bipolar systems and shit like that. When you understand how to calculate what's actually in front of you, you can put those in deeper terms. So when I say cool and warm, you can even observe in real life, some people's temperament is cool and warm. Some people are naturally more cool-headed than other people, but they might negotiate more and relate more. Some people are more hot-headed. They might jump into situations really quickly, but they could jump into a bad negative situation that they might not be, understanding, or they might just be energetic and shit like that. You gotta understand that these metrics that you see in nature are really pointing to a space that we really be in internally as far as a humanity and shit like that. Because we're all just different parts. Human is just another retarded goddamn terminology for goddamn colored mind. Your mind got a specific, your chakras got a specific colors. The blueprint you came in is particular to you and shit like that. And you do things in your own unique way. And that's why we're here. We're here to become unique. But if people, and that's accessing the energetic current of Uranus and shit like that, to have uniquenesses and shit. A lot of times Aquarius can have that naturally and stuff like that based on their natural chart alignments and shit like that. Because their space allows them to associate. So with that energy, we're supposed to associate with other people, but learn to be unique within that association so we don't lose ourselves in group, that we really absorb our identity in that group. And it's kind of fucked up, man, because I see this shit in the esoteric realm and all that, because I'm privy to the frequency waves. But man, it's fucked up, because people be in oceans and waves of hell, and people really be in hell. It's just an experience that might be new to their spirit or something, because they had a desire or something, but they truly lost in another man's point of view, another man's ego, and shit like that. And it's really not good. So that's why all of this really is a part of training your mind. Because when you actually sit back and train your mind, you're actually literally preparing for when you die as well. Because if you still have these light forms on your mind, these ideas of Jesus, these ideas of these democratic parties, demonic parties, the denomination parties and shit, you're really coming back, reincarnating in this realm based on pointing your spirit trajectory to something that looks similar to this realm. So the thoughts and feelings on your mind look the same as this realm, you're going to come back to this realm. A lot of religious people sit back and think, oh, if I uphold this book, if I uphold this practice, I'm going to go to heaven where God exists and I'm going to be okay forever. No, that's not what life is about. That's not what it is. It's like, that's just a desire. Life is forever uncomfortability. Life is forever uncomfort. And whenever you have a small spirit, whenever a religious person got a small awareness, automatically that spirit is going to get taken over by another spirit that's got a bigger awareness that can encapsulate a bigger space with bigger thoughts and feelings and shit like that. Because really, they're like a fish in the ocean, and they don't know that they're being hunted, they're being preyed on, and they just sit back and they justify being preyed on and needing to pray for something outside of it for help, not realizing that the same Jesus that these religious people worship be the same motherfucker that got killed by the institutions that they worship and uphold the practice in. No. Last time I checked, the Roman goddamn Catholic Church, goddamn it, they killed Jesus. If they really loved God, if they really was for God, they would have allowed him to do his mission, awaken people, enlighten people. But do you really think that's in the favor of a government back in the day, aka coming in the religious form? Because that was the earliest form of government. Don't ever get it twisted. So, do you think it's in the favor of me sitting back, letting someone go enlighten motherfuckers, make some people aware, and these people that are aware go make a whole group of people aware? No, that's gonna make it hard for me to control. So of course I'm gonna kill the person that's, you know what I'm saying, that's doing that. And guess what? They told you that Jesus Christ died for your sins. Goddamn right, he died for your motherfucking sins. Because they was telling you, don't do this shit that Jesus did, or we will fucking kill you. That's what they telling you. So it's some shit that people don't see. Like, you, what? Like, why the fuck would I want to hold the picture of my Messiah on a cross, god damn it, half dead? Like, they really talking about killing your own individuality. Because if you sit back, if you sit back and read the Anunnaki tablets, for example, if you're into that shit and shit like that, I never really read a lot. I never read little of it because I know what it's pointing to already. So I just read a little. I'll skim over it. They'll be like, okay, yeah, I know what it's pointing to. But if you read that, they talk about how even the Anunnakis, but it's really us type of shit. We agreed to come to this type of shit, and it's like our individuality is being harvested. So when you make someone else's space bigger by giving them your thoughts and feelings, because you gotta understand that it truly does not matter if you're sitting back in the comment section giving me some type of hate or some type of love or anything. It truly does not matter, because what I'm gonna sit back and do is just look at you like this person is not in some type of equilibrium space, unbalanced, being biased and shit like that, and I'm just gonna sit back and transmute that energy, because the universe itself doesn't give a fuck. The universe just want to see who has the greatest transmutation capabilities, because you got a whole population worldwide that's indoctrinated and getting their mind motherfucking transmuted and shit like that. So that lets you know their spirit, their awareness is obviously in a space that's bigger than you, and it's not religions or anything like that. Because you see these politicians putting on their religious hat, taking off the religious hat. Donald Trump one time said, I did more shit for Christians and Catholics than motherfucking Jesus and shit like that. And Christians gonna sit back and justify that or try to say that, oh, Donald Trump must be Jesus. But it's all some shit that the shadow government is sitting back. I'm not saying that narrative is particularly true or wrong or right, but I guarantee you someone that sits back and believes in some dumbass shit like that, ever since they created the QAnon narrative and shit like that, motherfuckers started sitting back believing in, oh, Donald Trump gonna come back and save the planet. Oh yeah, Donald Trump's gonna do this for everybody. Yeah, it might seem favorable in the moment, but it's just still catering to their shit based on people still being lost into bias and domination. Donald Trump may not be racist, but the people that are following him, oh, you better believe they got them racist and retarded and shit like that, and arguing and babbling with other Donald Trump followers about dumbass shit, because it's based on the spirit. So you can see a black person, a white person, goddamn it, a Mexican person, a European person, goddamn it, agreeing for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. But it's based on the space, it's based on the spirit that they're resonating with, based on what, based on whatever relative position they have. Because whatever temperament you got, I don't got. You know what I'm saying? We see things from two completely different spaces, but we're still trying to describe things in the objective realm so we can have forms of agreeing to terms and conditions, creating contracts and shit like that. But the Jews sat back and they created this energy of, agreeing to terms and conditions that make you less. And it's just like, it's fucked up, it's retarded. It's like a whole story. You really gotta go back in history and really study things, because they wasn't, they wasn't coming to you on some friendly shit. They was like, take this shit or we'll kill you. Oh, that's it. So you're telling me they didn't have no care, the Muslims didn't have no charismatic gifts? Muhammad couldn't go perform a miracle when these people went to war? They had to sit back and be like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna go to war, kill a bunch of people. And look, even if it's soldiers, it doesn't really matter. You're supposed to show me how powerful your God is. You're supposed to show me how miraculous your God is. But you only do these miracles when it's convenient for you? The fuck? I thought you're supposed to do miracles in inconvenient situations. And there might be a narrative in the Islamic religion or theology that says, oh yeah, Muhammad did this. But at the same time though, it didn't happen that way. Like, Muhammad didn't split no moon in half. If anything, they're probably talking about some astrology shit, because a lot of people don't realize again, they sitting back creating these terms based on these mansions. So when the Bible sits back and when the Bible says like, oh, my father has many houses or many mansions, they're just talking about degrees, moon mansions, houses in astrology, you could say, houses inside of your temple of God. And don't sit back and be like, oh, the Bible is true. No, understand what the Bible was based off of, so you can go to the truth. So no one has to teach you, so you don't have to argue. Then you can actually sit back and be like, damn, I really, like, you know, it's like you will really, like, it's gonna play out in such a way where you will really start to see, God will show you, because now you're in a real space of real all possibilities, not contracted. Oh, it's not possible. Oh, you gotta sit back in the corner and be scared. Oh, you gotta sit back and worry. Nah, all this shit is the demonic limited space. Last time I checked, when it says, when Daniel was in the line, then he was a motherfucking scared and shit like that. So it's like people sit back and justify these forms of rulerships and shit, but it's like people just conflate these things in their mind, and it's all fucked up. So it's like even someone like me sits back and be like, yo, is these religious people even worth addressing? Should I just go straight up to some healing, dealing with trauma type shit? But man, because you know this channel's about many things and shit like that. So it's like, I really just sit back and try to look at the world and just try to attack these things as much as possible, because these be the same things holding us back. And it's like really the faster we let go of these things will actually evolve into new things. Like, you can't hold on to your 9-year-old body. You can't hold on to your 6-year-old body. You can't hold on to your 21-year-old body. You know, you can't pinpoint these things. Same thing with your mind. Your mind has to expand out of these concepts eventually. When you look at a tree, when you look at a plant, when you look at a shark, all these things always grow to the size of the container that they are in. So if we were to take your spirit, if we were to take your soul, you would always grow based on the size of the container that you expose yourself to. So if you got a limited perception, logical perspective, and you only swim inside of specific waters of consciousnesses and awarenesses and shit like that, because you truly got to understand that there's many mansions and many spaces in existence that we're not privy to, and we think we have to sit back and fight for these spaces, fight for these jobs, fight for these entertainments, fight for these features of rappers and shit like that, fight for these antique old religious books that are based on some shit that's already in front of us, that's just all in plain sight. But they got people's minds so conflated, it's like ain't no way people can actually sit back and actually truly observe what's actually going on in the actual goddamn it metaphysical realm. Like, to actually bring back a thought form or a feeling that's actually beyond the vibrations, frequencies of this realm and shit like that. Because the shit that people truly be resonating with be some weak ass retarded shit. So it's like, think about it. If I was God in heaven, or if I was a millionaire, let's say for example, I don't want to say the two and two together, but it's about an energy level and shit like that. So it's like, if I want to hang out with people with my energy level, I don't hang out with people without my type of energy level, because they're gonna drain me. They're gonna do the crab thing, pull me down. Oh no, you're being bigger than you're supposed to be. Come act down like you're less. So if you're trying to be more, especially I notice there's a lot of, especially in the black community, you know what I'm saying? A lot of black people will sit back and see another black person and be like, oh, look at this black person. They're trying to be this. They're trying to be that. Or another person will sit back and be like, oh, look at this. A member of another race group will sit back and be like, oh, look at this black person. They're talking like they're white. They're not supposed to talk like that. Oh, why are you using your white voice? So, man, that's so stupid. Like, you know in how many ways your voice box can develop? And you know how many different sounds you can develop, motherfucker? Like, for you to sit back and try to put someone in your stereotype, in your box, like fuck you. God don't give a fuck about that box. Some box you created based on your own limitations. So it's like, let's not put people in limitations and shit like that. Because I guarantee you, whatever your mom and dad expressed to you when you was younger, I guarantee you that shit was a limitation. I guarantee it. Because most moms and dads is in indoctrination. So what you think they're gonna give you an indoctrination? Just look at their lives. If they have some type of like position and power where they're like doing big things, doing things that the normal person is scared of, uncomfortable of, like would normally appear fearful of, you need to understand that parent is in the indoctrination. But I obviously don't blame them, just peep game. Look at their life, look at what they manifested, look at the goods and bads, ups and downs. But it's all based on these systems that we're in, and we don't have to resonate with these things and be in these things in the first place. And look, manifesting good and bad situations, it's not necessarily like good and bad either. It's just how much can you handle? But what you choose to handle should be up to you as a spirit. Meaning that if you're going to uphold a thought and a feeling, or a routine, or a religion, or a political party, understand what you're getting involved into, because you will get tired of upholding that shit and want to let go of that shit eventually, because your spirit will transform that. Whether it's in this lifetime or whether it takes you multiple lifetimes. Because eventually it's going to be like a jail cell. It's just like water. It's just like water. You try to develop different rivers the moment it overflows. So the moment your anger, your psychopathy grows to a different level, you're gonna want to burst that bubble open. You're not gonna want to stay in that box no more. And that's for every spirit in the world, period. How do you think even I got to this point? Because at some point you see the limitation. You experience the limitation in your life. Like, you sit back, someone else has a charismatic gift, and you're not supposed to have it, and, you know, you're supposed to accept this type of witchcraft that your mom and dad throw on you. Like, for example, right, like, from my specific part, where I come from, East Africa, right, and shit like that, a lot of the times, even the culture that I'm part of, like, you know, I was really, that whole soul group that took over the world now, you know, shit like that, you know what I'm saying, just came and raped and pillaged a bunch of tribes and made mutts, right? So in that area, they made a bunch of mutts, like aka Sudanese people, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some Ethiopians and shit like that, Somalians and shit like that, aka made mutts, you know what I'm saying? Made a race, made a new race, and created, like, give them their, that's what they did worldwide. Or took over your race and shit, like, took over your indigenous land and blah, blah, created the corporations, blah, blah, right? But, like, for example, right? So people in my culture would sit back and they would really want to be Arabs, or they really would want to be something outside of their culture, and they would believe that their color make them inferior or something like that. And they would really sit back and be thankful that they're saved because they're part of this religious point of view. You know how many, like, West Africans, for example, that I met that hate their names, don't like their names, or change their names to an Arabic name based on them wanting to, like, play, because you're playing at a tarot card, but that tarot card, that existence was given to you by someone else. So if you hate yourself, you truly didn't have God in the first place, and you're jumping into a doctrine based on the wrong starting point, looking for something else outside of you. So it's like, it's just crazy to me that there's a bunch of people that hate themselves in my culture, in my background, and they truly do not understand what they're doing because their forefathers lied to themselves and they lied to them. So don't let that be you, and sit back and uphold these things that are not really helping you in your life to the highest possible degree. If it's not taking you, if it's not manifesting your highest possible potential, if you're not actually happy, if you're not enjoying your life, if you're not progressing, if you're not developing new mental muscles, new awarenesses, that's not living life. That's called being a fucking robot. That's called being in the room reading the Bible, being like, oh yeah, the Bible said Jesus is gonna come back. Let me sit on my couch. Let me eat some fufu if you're African. Ah yeah. The Catholics, they conquered us a long time ago, and we do not know what to do now. Oh yeah. They used their banking in France, and, you know, they took over our banks. Our currency is not worth shit. We have the resources in Africa, but we do not know what to do with it. Like, that's what you gotta understand. It's the magic square itself. You're inside of a living fucking ritual, and your energy is being harnessed, and you're giving your energy to these denominations, truly thinking these are things that you have to do. And it's only gonna get more fucked up if people don't get out of it. You can see society's going downhill. You can see people don't believe in these things. Like, people don't believe in their presidents. Don't believe in these politics systems. Don't believe in these religions. AKA that show you the lack of balance in the world. So whatever system that people are sitting back and claiming this system came from God and shit like that, you need to understand that if it didn't produce the result, if Jews, Muslims, and Christians is not getting together based on that being the same God and the same line of prophets, and it created some type of division between humanity to the point that it caused people to look differently and not want to unite, but it's really uniting based on terms and conditions that you don't know are making you less. It's fucked up, man. The people truly do not know what the fuck they do with their mind. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. God damn it, let go of these lights, let go of these awarenesses, be privy to something else. I dare you to sit back and just think and feel about nothing for more than 10 minutes and shit like that, and keep doing that. Think of feel of nothing, and then you'll truly start to build some clairvoyance energy, so you can actually truly be privy to what you're actually, the shapes and forms that your mind is seeing from a real perspective. But someone's gonna sit back there and lie to themselves and be like, oh, that's a demon. No, bitch, that's either your thoughts, that's your feelings, or that's someone else around you that you're being privy to based on your first eye chakra, which is really just, you know, a way of internalizing and translating communications in waves and frequencies and words and shit like that. So because if I say elephant, you're gonna think of an elephant. If I say white Jesus, you're gonna be like, oh, white Jesus. So you know, you're doing something with your mind that you may not understand. Like if you're gonna create a movie with your mind, I'm just saying you might as well make it your movie, because this is your astral travel anyway. This is your DNA sequence, your thoughts and feelings. So you might as well just, you know, use it for your interest and shit like that, not someone else's. But yeah, real shit. Take care, everybody. Peace out. I'm gonna see y'all later tomorrow. Take care.